The history of rock and roll is littered with stories of filth and fury. However, whilst musical success brings with it an entourage who can tidy up after you, back in rock's starting blocks, things are still as dirty as Rod Stewart's imagination. Meet Chud, Spider, Alex, and Jim. This week, it's Grime Scene Investigation versus Hooligan Swamp. Each week on Grime Scene Investigation, we stare down the unseen world of bugs and bacteria, then lay the slap down on the microscopic marauders plaguing households across the country. Using cutting-edge technology, we're out to get the germs and microorganisms living with and on our suspects. Our mission? To identify the dirtiest offender, aka the criminal. The team's led by me, Rufus Hound. The tall guy behind me is Dr. Anthony Hilton, one of the country's leading microbiologists. Papa John Critchell, the bug man. He looks for critters the human eye can't see. The girls who do the dirty work are Jess, Laura, and Taria. Anthony's research team, the Antoinettes. Our mobile lab is packed full of kit normally only found in the world's top research laboratories, and we've bunged it on the back of a lorry. This week we're in Bristol, called in to tackle one of the city's filthiest houses, home to Hooligan Swamp, a rock band whose lifestyle will get Sid Vicious reaching for his rubber gloves. This unfab four gets sick all the time. It's our job to find out what is the cause, who's taking the biggest risks, and which one of this motley crew is the criminal.
Day 10900, evacuate house.
Hooligan Swamp?
Upstairs.
Right, I'm looking for Hooligan Swamp.
You're in the wrong place, guy, I'm afraid.
Shut it, chimp boy, get to the van. You, and you, go. Have a look in there.
0903, Hooligan Swamp evacuated. 0906, Grime Scene secured.
Well, we've been called in because we hear your gaff isn't necessarily the most hygienic.
We don't tend to concern ourselves with worrying about mess, we just live with it.
But you're in a band, obviously there are ladies knocking about. Surely when they come back they're a little concerned about what they see.
They're overwhelmed by the pheromones.
Yeah, they don't care, they're just so happy they got with some guy out of a band, isn't it?
And a lot of girls like a bit of rough. So.
Right, so that's the service you're providing, like a dirty milkman.
Yeah.
0930, samples taken from Chud's bedroom.
Now, living together, who would you say is the messiest person here? All fingers pointing at Chud.
I think I'm being victimised, to be honest.
Really?
People don't recognise the efforts that I put into cleaning things.
To be fair, when he tidies up, it's good.
Grand job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how often does that happen?
Did it last night, didn't I?
Yeah.
Is that because you knew we were coming? Be honest.
I think it's more like the eviction notice that we got issued with.
So you've actually had the place so untidy you've been threatened with eviction? What are the other hot spots, do you think, in the house where things could be maybe a bit tidier?
The toilet on your floor is right.
The toilet in
That's
the middle.
mainly your vomit, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that's all your vomit.
It's always you.
I'm pretty sure you deliberately missed the toilet.
There's actually tiles missing because of the amount of time we've scrubbed his puke off the side.
Yeah.
Nice. We've done an initial sweep of Hooligan Swamp's lair, so the band are allowed back in. This will give me and Anthony the chance to see if there are any bad habits that could be responsible for the band's poor health. So, this is Hooligan Swamp in the kitchen. Aye.
And my major concern really about food preparation in that kitchen is that they're preparing things on a drying rack because there's not a square inch of kitchen surface or plates to use. And really, it's just a soup of potentially hazardous microorganisms that they're just exposing themselves to. Yeah, I think that it really is a quite dangerous practice to live in that kind of kitchen environment.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
10:55 the band caught in the act.
Right, fellas, we've been watching you and how you've been getting on. We notice there's quite a lot of food preparation, very little washing of hands.
What I'm most worried about in the kitchen in particular is when you're handling food. Obviously you've raw food, you've other bugs hanging around here as well. You've got a toilet right next to the kitchen, and I can't see any major evidence that any of you wash your hands after you've been to the toilet. And you come in here and you're handling food, and what I would be worried about is cross-contamination of food that you're going to eat with hands that potentially have microorganisms that could make you quite ill.
What about washing hands? What about soap? What about, you know...
So I just wiped my arse on a bit of bread once.
Can I ask you if any of you ever had any sort of illnesses that you think might have been a result of poor hygiene, such as, you know, being sick or having diarrhoea or...
I do, I'm sick all the time.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, vomiting or diarrhoea? Or both?
Bit of both.
Bit of both. Do you think that's got anything to do with your lifestyle? As you said, you sort of drink a lot. I mean, may very well that is, but do you think in spite of that it might be exacerbated by your hygiene?
Quite possibly.
Yeah?
I reckon that we actually have trained our bodies to be tolerant to all these different kinds of bacteria, and that's why we
could it
don't
be
actually
possible
get ill.
that, like, because of our lifestyle, that our immune system's actually stronger than some people?
I imagine that your immune system is getting challenged more than maybe people that live in a healthy or a clean environment. That doesn't necessarily make you less vulnerable to becoming ill from these microorganisms. I mean, there is a hypothesis that we need to challenge our immune systems in order to keep it healthy, but I think there's still a line where you should say, well, maybe too much challenging is too much, and you might actually make yourself seriously ill, and I mean quite seriously ill.
On average, one of the band gets sick once a month, but without them being ladies, it shouldn't be that predictable. It's time to look for the source.
Day 1, 11:38 kitchen.
How's it going, Anthony?
Hi, I'm just taking some samples, but look at the place.
I'm surprised you're still alive in here.
I may have to decontaminate myself on the way out.
Yeah. What's that, just regular grease, household stuff?
Yeah, they've obviously had a fry-up or something. They've just left it all to congeal. There's fat and pans and everywhere. It's what a mess.
Hey, what about the bathrooms?
Yeah, let's have a look, shall we?
Hang on. What was that toothbrush at the bottom? Oh. I mean, they must use that for cleaning. Nobody's going to be brushing their teeth with that. But that's on the shelf right underneath those sanitary towels. I mean, that's going to go on one of their girlfriends.
I don't think you can take anything for granted in this place. I'll take it with me and sample it just in case.
I'm worried what you're going to find. We can't afford to rule anything out. The filth in this house could be attracting insect life, which could be the origin behind Hooligan Swamp getting hooligans sick. Papa John is on the case. So, John, have we found anything?
We've found this.
What is that?
Well, we're not sure, but we'll get it back to the lab and have a look.
Stick it under the microscope.
Yeah.
And not just any microscope. This is a scanning electron microscope, and it's worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. Imported from Japan, it's the first time it's ever been installed on a lorry. So, Papa J, is this the mystery bug?
It certainly is.
Now, do we think it's parasitic?
No, we think it's a larval form, almost certainly of an earwig or something similar to that. You can see from these little horns on the front end here, used to grab things, so it's going to eat other creepy crawlies, so it's quite, probably quite beneficial.
Yeah, so if anything, this is actually helping the swamp.
Yes.
So these little fellas, where do we normally expect to find earwig larvae?
We normally expect to find these outside, living on nasty things that are infecting your sort of apple trees, like green fly and things like that. So
Right. So to find them indoors means that they've got almost a kind of outside environment as far as these little bugs are concerned.
yes, plenty of food around.
Yeah. And the fact that this is a larvae means they could very well be breeding in there.
Yeah.
Do you hear the way John said, yeah? That means he thinks I'm an idiot. This bug is a lacewing. It can't make you ill, so it's not behind the band's poor health. Time to check in with the Hilton. So what have we got here?
I found this bucket here and it's just got loads of sort of food debris in it. No idea what it's for.
Organic waste, very ecologically friendly of them.
Yeah, it's got loads of flies coming out of it. Maybe I'll take a sample.
Go on then. The smell on that, man, is wrong.
Oh look, it's got fly larvae in it.
Ah. Yeah, that's definitely a maggot.
Yeah, it is.
Maggots become flies, flies spread germs. Could this be the primary source of sickness? And is it just in the house, or is it also on the band? Only one way to find out.
Hi Chud, welcome to the lab. We're going to take some body samples from you, if that's okay.
I'll just take a bit.
Hair samples, possible contaminants, head lice.
Bit off the sides as well.
Bit off the sides, yeah. When was the last time you washed your hair?
Hair samples, possible infections, bacterial.
Do you wear makeup at all when you're doing your gigs and things?
Eye swabs, possible contaminants, fungal spores.
Is that just water?
Yeah, it's just water.
When was the last time you washed your hands today?
Stomacher bag collection device isolates bacteria in sterile water.
When was the last time that came out of your ear?
There you go.
Let's have a look at that. Oh my word. No, I'm guessing that those aren't very clean feet, really.
You're not going to find nothing in that.
No, I don't think we will.
Yeah, I think we will. In the carpet, we found microscopic graveyards of dead insects, which Chud and the rest of the band are treading around. Plus, we also suspect that bad hygiene could be making them all ill. We're on the hunt for signs of E. coli, found on raw meat and in faeces. It causes nausea, stomach cramps, diarrhea, kidney failure, and in the worst strain, most fun of all, death! But we're going to need more proof.
Which room did you do, Jess, in the house?
Well, I did the drummer's bedroom. His computer was particularly bad,
Yeah.
and also down in the kitchen. We
Yeah.
went into the old fridge, and it was
Pretty minging in
it was
there,
really
is it,
bad.
really?
Yeah, I should have
Yeah.
worn a mask, really.
Yeah.
So,
Right then. So have you plated those samples up?
and we're all plated up, and we'll see what we get tomorrow.
Yeah. Great.
While the Antoinettes work on the house, I'm more concerned about what's living on the band. So, we've swabbed the swamp, now let's scan the swamp. Jim, you're up first. Lose the hat and the t-shirt. The body scan, where we strip the suspects down and take hundreds of high-res photos all over their body. We're looking for hot spots on the surface of the skin where bacteria can flourish. Any bruise, scratch or rash, and we're going to be concerned. Locating these areas helps build up a profile of the band, which should help us nail down who is the criminal. As we get further through day one, are you worried at all?
Yes.
Yeah? What about?
Worried that we're never going to score ever again.
Out of the four of you, who do you think's going to fare the best?
Me, I'd say, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
You're
I'm
the
immaculately
cleanest.
clean. Yeah,
What about you, Mark?
Other than the reaction I got when I took my socks off in the lab, I reckon I'm doing pretty well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you think you're the cleanest. These boys think that you're probably the dirtiest. Mark, the boy they call Spider. He's cocky. Look at his face. But is his eccentric taste for Amazonian fauna and exotic dead stuff proof that he's the criminal putting the swamp in Hooligan Swamp? Time for me and the doctor to make a house call. Well, I think I found the last person who stayed here. Look at this place, it's amazing. I mean, Mark did do zoology at university. I mean, he's clearly passionate about it, but this is... I don't like to use the word mental, but it is mental. I mean, it's amazing. He's got spiders in there crawling around bottles, the dead spiders on the desk. It's all the creepy crawlies and things. I mean, they must kick out their own variety of little bugs that live on there. Neither of us are too keen to investigate his Goliath bird-eating spider. It could fire its hypodermic hairs into our eyes, causing extreme irritation. That furry mother...
The thing is, I'm not sampling it. What do you want to stick your hand in?
You're not good with spiders?
No. I think you should sample it and I'll analyse it. You
Yeah,
take a
I'm
sample,
fine with
I'll
that.
analyse it.
Easy peasy. I may as well do something. I mean, I'd rather handle those spiders and go back in that kitchen. All right. Well, here goes.
Get away from me.
Such a girl. It's the end of day one. We've gathered up all the evidence, so now it's time to work it up. Whilst the Swamp rock a local pub, we're still going into the early hours, investigating the samples that should help us crack this case.
Here comes the dawn, my friend. Here comes the dawn again. Here comes the dawn and I'm scared.
So, Chud, Jim, Mark and Alex are all equally filthy, but we need more evidence if we're going to uncover the criminal. It's time to find out who's got the dirtiest instrument. This is a luminometer. It measures bacterial levels, and a reading over 1,000 is enough to get an industrial kitchen shut down. So, we've swabbed you and we've scanned you. It's time to find out who's got the dirtiest instrument.
Well, if it was clean, then we're going to expect in the tens or the hundreds, and if it's dirty, then maybe into the hundreds, into the thousands. And there you have a reading there of 3,550 for our first contestant.
Yeah, that is high. Fuck it.
Ooh, 1,743.
1,743. So far, you're the cleanest.
It is.
It's a killer.
It's 4,136.
Oh,
a disappointing score.
No high fives for you, my friend. No high fives.
Right, okay. So 2 weeks worth of dirt.
Measures in at a 20,321.
So it's the 6-string guitars that are cleaner than the bass guitar, but all of you pale into insignificance. In fact, even if you add your scores together, you're not as filthy as the badge.
The mighty power of the drummer.
All of which means, Hooligan Swamp, that Alex, you are top of the swamps!
Yeah! Alright. Thank you very much.
I'm worried that everyone knows what I'm like now. It's disgusting. Being exposed as a complete rotter. Sorry, Mum.
I've been through an ordeal.
Ordeal?
Yeah, I consider it an ordeal.
Results continue to pour in. Papa John even has a photograph of one of the groupies Mark's sharing his bed with.
What are you looking at, John?
These are some dust mites that I found in the vacuum cleaner from Spider's bed.
All right. Is this when you hoovered them up onto the filter paper?
Yeah, that's right.
There are a lot
You
there,
can
aren't
see
there?
they're
Yeah.
I think the bed was probably almost walking out on its own, frankly.
Wow.
But,
Dust mites feed on the dead skin that falls off our bodies at night. 10% of the weight of a 2-year-old pillow is made up of dust mites and their waste. As they get fatter from eating your old skin, they shed theirs. This and their feces are what cause allergic reactions in people, ranging from itchy noses and eyes to severe asthma attacks. In fact, they're second only to pollen in causing allergic reactions. The way to keep their numbers down is to regularly change your sheets and, most importantly, hoover your mattress. A chore that Hooligan Swamp, and especially Mark, never do. A reassuring amount of dust mites for an average bed is 200,000. But we suspect Mark has over 10 million crawling around him at night. Dust mites then. There's loads of them, but they're not responsible for making the band sick. The house swab results are the last chance for us to find out what is the source. So, Anthony, what are we finding?
Well, I'm just having a look through the plates at the moment. We took some samples from the lads' bedrooms. We've got all sorts. We've got carpet samples, we've got bed samples, we've got lots of sock samples. Look at this one, which we put in a bag with a little bit of buffer, and we pummel this sock in the liquid to release the microorganisms, and we're going to analyse that. In fact, I've already got the results for that, but it looks dirty already. But the worrying thing about it, it contains evidence of fecal contamination already.
And we found fecal contamination in their shower?
Yes, in the shower is riddled with fecal contamination, as is the PlayStation on-off button, riddled with fecal contamination, as is the controller, fecal contamination. Interestingly, we didn't find any fecal contamination in the toilet, which is just amazing.
So the only place that we haven't found poo is the one place we would normally expect?
Yes, if faeces is there, then the whole host of other bugs could be there that could make the meal.
In a normal person's house, would we expect to find this much?
No, not at all. I mean, you might find it on the flush handle of the toilet, maybe, you know, a little bit around the loo or something like that. I mean, these guys, if they ever wash their hands after they go to the toilet, I'd be very surprised.
And our mate E. coli in there means what? Kidney failure, possible in very severe cases, even death. The amount of E. coli found in that house is unprecedented, and the most likely cause of the band's regular bouts of nausea, vomiting and diarrhoea. One of the swamp is spreading fecal matter from the toilet all around the house with either their hands or feet. The fact that they hardly ever wash up or clean means that a potentially lethal microorganism is running riot. With all the evidence in, it's time to get this four-piece on song with a few home truths. These are the samples of things that we found in your house.
Oh, no way.
And what was particularly concerning for me was that the high level of organisms that are normally associated with faeces that we were able to isolate from your home. In particular, these were in the carpets where they'd obviously been walked around, but also on other contact surfaces such as your games consoles and the on and off switch to your radio and your TV and your remote control in the front room. And all that really adds up to a relatively...
All had feces on.
Yes.
Is it unprecedented for the house to be in a state like this?
But to have it traipsed so widely throughout the entire house, including your bedrooms and your living rooms, I think that is rather unusual, yeah.
It's obviously the midnight poo bandit. It just goes around pooing on things.
Next up, who are they sharing their place with? And what's living on them? What you're seeing there is a sample of stuff we collected from your carpet. And although it doesn't look like much...
It looks like Bombay Mix.
It looks a bit like Bombay Mix. What you're actually looking at is an insect graveyard.
Magnified 100 times.
How do you feel seeing some of these pictures?
Quite shocking when it's up close and bright and colourful. All those bubbling things like that. Up close, it's a lot more disgusting than I thought it'd be.
The results are now correlating. 4 suspects, but which one is guilty? Alex, dirty hands, never washes up. Jim, room covered in fecal contamination, freely admits to getting ill, but does nothing to improve his hygiene. Mark, a passion for wildlife infesting house with bugs, bed chock-a-block with dust mites. Chud, filthy feet, filthy room, and wipes his arse on bread. So, who is it? It's time to reveal who is the true criminal. Alex, we looked at your drumsticks. Obviously, they were pretty horrific.
Pretty well done.
Yeah, we looked at your piercings and was surprised to find there was less of an issue there than we thought. We can tell you that you were the cleanest member of Hooligan Swamp.
Out the band.
Chad?
Your hands were amongst the dirtiest, as it happens. I found no evidence of fecal contamination of your hands, and no other major transient microorganisms, which are ones that you've picked up throughout the day by touching surfaces.
So, Chad, you are not the criminal.
Yes. Rubbish.
Comes down between Mark and Jim. But Mark, up in your room, man, we found dust mites, we found things that even we had trouble finding out exactly what they were. However, with all that being the case, all that was close between the two of you, Mark, you're not the criminal either. Unfortunately, Jim, you are the criminal. Yes, it's the lead singer who's both the cause and the symptom. This is one, Jim, it's not healthy to visit.
Is there a prize?
Yes. You can never have sex with anyone.
Your feet is where it really let you down. You had the highest microbial load on your feet and the highest level of fecal microorganisms on your feet. And I would be concerned as you as being a major source of potentially pathogenic microorganisms in the house.
It's kind of a mixture of being ashamed and intense pride.
I'm going to regularly run stakeouts and watch my PlayStation controller and my sausages to catch Jim in the act of smearing fecal matter on my things with his feet. And I'm going to kick his ass for it, because that's just not on, is it? You criminal.
You know, these lads will never be choir boys, but maybe we've rocked the swamp enough to get them to roll with the idea that living surrounded by their own fecal matter isn't such a great plan. Criminal Jim, for one, needs to sort out his personal hygiene, which might not be cool, but will stop him from knocking on heaven's door for just a little while longer. Mind you, even the Grim Reaper's got higher standards of hygiene than to take a walk through that gaff. For the time being, they should be fine. But to let things get that bad, what possessed them?
Or should I say, who?
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't the worst. Quite glad I wasn't the best either. Somewhere in the middle.
I'm really happy with how I went.
What were you, second cleanest?
Yeah, second cleanest. No poo on my feet, no nothing. No fecal matter in my eyelashes, whatever you've got.
I'm quite pleased, really, seeing as I was the cleanest. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the results. I think Jim's quite gutted.
It's all right, Jim. Just have a wash in it, and then it's not a problem. Like, it's not like
I'm going to go and wash my feet now.
I would.
Definitely.
I really would.